Hello everyone, my name is Kamel, and in this video I'm gonna demonstrate assignment 2 for Comp 3122. So first of all, we are importing the libraries, so I imported pandas, then the model selection tree and metrics from sklearn, and finally the pyplot from matplot library. And here I just stored the COVID data frame from this CSV file, which I uploaded it here. And as you can see, we have so many columns or features, and the values of these features are yes or no. So we want to make a decision tree classifier. So first of all, I stored all these features in an X variable, and the COVID-19 result basically in a Y variable. And then because we have yes and no, we need to map it to 1 or 0, 1 for yes and 0 for no. So here I used this function or lambda because we have so many features and we need to loop in every column and check the data for every row, and if it's yes, put 1, and it's no, put 0. And for y, just one column, so simply map it to 1 or 0. And then we are splitting the dataset, and we're gonna train it on 70% and test it on 30%. And then of course we give it a random state. And here we are creating the decision tree, and finally we gonna learn or teach the model based on the 70% of the data. And we'll see here the prediction and the accuracy rate. So if we run it, we get an accuracy rate of 93%. Pretty good. And for the part B of the assignment, first of all, I uploaded the CSV file for it and stored in the variable called df, which is a data frame. And as you can see here, we have like the first 5 rows. Then the first question is we need to permanently delete the model column, which as you can see here, we have a model column. So simply I just use the drop function for the targeted column, and because it's a column not a row, I used 1. And do I want to make a copy? No, so it's true. So basically modify the existing data frame, and as you can see here, it's gone. It doesn't exist anymore. It's between zip code and coast, so it's gone. Secondly, we have to remove the brackets, square brackets, and the dollar sign. So I'll be honest, I tried replace and I tried strip. I found strip is pretty smooth. I just strip from the beginning the square bracket and then the dollar sign, and from the end this, and it's worked completely fine. As you can see here, it's all gone. And convert the cost column to an integer, just like I converted using as type, and the targeted value, which is the data type, which is integer. As you can see here, all the cost column has an integer values. Then we want to compute the average cost of the average cost of a column and the cost per continent. So basically we have the main function, which give us the average. So I targeted the whole column, give me the average of it, and as you can see here is 54.6. And then for per continent, we just need to group them by continent, and then we calculate the average. And here, as you can see, we group by continent of the column cost, and then we calculate the average. Plotting a bar chart showing the mean of numerical column group by continent. First of all, I drop the column ID because before doing that it shows like just the IDs, which is the most dominant value. So I dropped it, and I can show you here if I remove it. Oops. I just need to put df dot. Sorry, my bad. Yeah, so the dominant value here is ID, which we don't need. So that's why I removed it. Drop it basically. And here we just need the numerical columns. So I enabled this flag numeric only equal true, and then we plot it. So you can see here we have the range and the cost and the values. And for question number 6, count how many times each continent appears in the continent column. I used value count because it basically counts how many times each unique value appears in a column. So we want to know how many, let's say, North America showed in the continent column. So I used that. And here you can see the output. For question number 7, display unique values in continent column and count them. So basically use the function unique to show only unique values. So here we have Asia, North America, and so on. And when I count them, basically just number of unique value, which is this function, now unique. And we have 7 continents. Use the value count in the cost column and describe the output. As I explained before, the output shows how many times each unique cost value appears in the column, and it's pretty useful pandas function. Question number 9, plot a histogram of the cost column. Yeah, just use the hist function and give it the how many bins we want 50, and we have the x label, which is this, it's the cost, and the y label is the frequency. It's right here. For question number 10, find the missing values in zip code and type columns and summarize all the null value in data frame. So basically we want to know how many null values we have in zip code and type. So basically I just use the is null value function, and the sum of it. So how many values basically. So we have for the zip code there's 9, and for the type we have 2. And this is the summarization. For question number 11, we need to show the statistic for the column type, including the not a number or the row that doesn't represent the value, and replace it with xxx. So I use describe because it gives me really important values or description. Basically the count, which we know we have 948 values that has a number. So before replacing we have that number, and after replacing with xxx we get 950, which is the total number of the rows. And I used fill NA basically means if a row doesn't have a value, just replace it with this. And in place true, which is modify the existing data frame and store in this value. For question number 12, drop all the rows with any missing values. So just drop NA. Basically, if it doesn't have a value in a row, just drop it. And here we get 941 because if we go back, we have type that has only 2 missing values and zip code has 9 missing values. And we filled these 2, so the remaining is 9. So if we go back here, we dropped all the row that doesn't have value. So 950 minus 9 equal 941. Question number 13, use describe to see statistic. And because its numerical value is going to show us the count, mean, standard deviation, minimum, and so on. So, and then, sorry, fetch the value of the first row and the third column. I use the allocation to target the first row and the third column. And if we see here, we have the first row is count, the third column is value, which is 950. We should get this value 100%. And then we want to sort the value counts of continent by frequency, then alphabetically. So for this question, I targeted the column continent, then we use the value count and sort by the values, which mean by the number. And for the second part of it, we need to sort it by the alphabetically, which is mean sort by the index or the label. And here you see there's for the first one, sort by frequency is sorted by the values, which means ascending from lowest to highest, and then from alphabetically, which means A to Z. And that's it for this assignment. Thank you for watching.